Okay, hopefully we're live. Now with a bit of luck I'm also going to be able to see myself on this. Sorry, going to be a bit of admin for a minute while I work this out. I have no idea where we're getting the sound from. Update? Don't tell me update required, YouTube. That is not useful for me. Okay, hopefully you're seeing me anyway. And we open. Don't say update required. You're not getting an update. This is an original iPad mini. It gets updates for nothing. Balls. Okay. Gonna have to use the browser version. Come on. Okay. Go. Cancel. That's it. m.youtube.com. I had the logistics for this so very nearly sorted out. And the first thing that went wrong is that Google clearly lied to me when it said that dawn would be at 5:15. Dawn as opposed to sunrise. Sunrise is at 5:50 according to Google. But as you can see, dawn is definitely happening. That's very dawnish going on there, you know. Let's see. Hopefully you're getting something here, because, you know. Hey, I'm live now apparently. But am I in frame, and can anybody hear anything? Those are the real questions that inquiring minds want to know. Maybe I'm not in frame. Oh wait. Maybe I am in frame. I think I'm extremely behind. Have I got sound? Okay, I am talking. Brilliant. I would rather this were actually live. Alright, I'm going to have to take just wild guesses because this is very behind and I'm guessing not too helpful. Oh, can I get... This isn't going to show me the chat, is it? Oh, terrible stuff. Well, there we go. I'm not getting any chat from this. So that's annoying. Right, so where was I? Well, where am I, more importantly, is I am in Shoebury-Ness. So this is, I'm going to have a quick look around and see just how much you can see actually. Yeah, you can see the correct amount, I'd say. Yeah. So I decided, well, first of all, if you're not aware of why we're here, I have been doing Lent. I've only been eating fuel and water and baking powder, which I changed the rules to allow myself baking powder so we can make things fluffy. And yeah, so I gave up enjoying food for Lent. So no flavour or no extra flavour. And so I'm now going to have something with flavour, and I thought the best way to do that, well, first of all, obviously Easter Sunday, as we all know, starts at sunrise. You know, because this is the way things happen in the Bible and medieval times and so on and so forth, is everything happens sunset, sunrise. That's when your days start and end. So yeah, so we have to wait for the sun to come up. And I thought, well, if we're going to wait for the sun to come up, best thing to do is get as far east as I'm willing to get, which is East Beach in Shoeburyness. And yeah, this is that point at which we can start seriously considering that maybe we're looking at the sea. I think this is still technically the estuary, but you know, if you get yourself around Southend, you're very aware that this is definitely still the river. Whereas here, I mean, yes, we've got our, whatever these are, these posts going out, like some sort of weird, like mole type situation, or like I wouldn't call that a pier, but it is going out. It's very interesting. But yeah, I can see a ship over there, and that's like an honest to goodness ship happening over there. In fact, I think I can see another one there. I can definitely see Kent over there, but I feel like over here, that's just sea. That is the North Sea. So yeah, and obviously over here we have sunrise threatening to happen, as well as a bunch of boats on the beach. I don't know if they're supposed to be there. I don't know if that is if those are now ruined boats or whatever. Obviously there's extremely shallow tides happen here. But anyway, here we are hoping that the whole thing about it being sunrise at 5:50 was also a lie, and that's also going to be much earlier, as dawn is much earlier. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you, so we know that it's good and sunrisey, is obviously that's your sunrise, looking lovely. Oh. Okay, that got weird. And that, now you can't really tell it with the exposure, but that is the moon being, I mean, okay, so from here it looks gorgeous. I am looking at it on the camera and it doesn't look nearly as gorgeous, but yeah. Now, I think, no, that keeps happening. I need to stop moving that camera like quite like that. That says say something. I feel like there's a way for me to look at the chat, potentially. I have a viewer that's possibly just me. But yeah, I definitely can't. Nope, stop doing that. I've done it again. I keep doing the exact same thing. There's your definition of lunacy right there. No, I don't. Oh, actually, I do want to share it. Come to think of it. Okay, yes, I should be sharing this so that people are aware it's happening, not just people that are kind enough to be subscribed to me, because that's never going to get shared, is it? Okay, so that's maybe something I can do on here. I mean, according to this, sun's still not dawn. It's still not twilight, it's still not definitely extremely daylighted. Those are things that are not happening. That is fake news. Don't tell me my iPad's not connected to the internet just because it's not connected to the internet. That's a terrible reason to tell me the iPad's not connected to the internet. I was doing that thing. Okay, try and connect it to the internet. I was planning to get a new iPad which could do things, because this one's too old to do things, but then I didn't, because money, and I need that money for new computer, because my computer has been looking suspiciously like it's going to die on me very soon. So I don't want that to happen. Okay. Now the question is, if I drop out of this, because I need that internet connection. Oh, actually, I'll just share it from here, because I'm not an idiot. I say that. Well, there we go. Oh, yes. Okay. Hello, Debbie. That's who we've got online. And no, it's not Primrose Hill. I was considering going to Primrose Hill. I did a whole thing today of going around scouting locations, places that I thought might have a good look east. There used to be a nice little lay-by over the QE2 bridge, which apparently no longer exists. So I couldn't use that. I had wanted to use the Langdon Hills Nature Reserve, but it turns out it just doesn't have a very good eastward view. It's got a decent south, but not east. Then I considered the Connaught Bridge, but the Connaught Bridge is not good for foot traffic. It has a second bridge underneath it, but that one's too low down, so you don't get to see like the whole airport and everything. And then I tried London Bridge, because then obviously you're gonna get all of Tower Bridge into the shot, and that'd be great. But it turns out the internet connection there's terrible, so I couldn't do that because no good for live streaming. And then I went over to whichever building it is that's got the Death Ray building that's got the Sky Garden on it, and asked them if I could turn up there at 4 in the morning, and they said no for some reason. Apparently they open at 7, which is weird. And then I thought, you know what? I don't think I'm going to want to drive back home from Primrose Hill at 6 in the morning, having gorged myself on Easter egg, because that's going to be a food coma and I'm already going to be really tired. I did try getting some sleep. I failed at getting some sleep. I think I got like 10 minutes. So my mental state may not be the best at the moment, but there we are. So what have I learnt this Lent? So I think one of the big takeaways is probably that I may well keep drinking water. So previously I never drank water, I didn't like water, I still don't like water, but I can stomach it now. Well, obviously I could stomach it before, but now I'm willing to have it be my primary method of getting liquid in me, which would be healthier. And obviously the big thing was getting my weight down. Not that I was fat before, but previously, I liked the idea of wearing medium t-shirts, but I was always quite self-conscious about wearing medium t-shirts. Now, today, I went out and bought a medium t-shirt as well as a load of small undershirts because, you know, apparently my body now does that. It is now small to medium as opposed to medium to large. So all of my large t-shirts now are very much for winter times when I'm going to be wearing an undershirt. And even then, I now have small undershirts, so maybe I can do it. Well, yeah, you know. I also, because I'm going to a wedding on Saturday, so I had to go get my, I had to go take my suit to a tailor, because all of my suits now look like, make me look like a child in them. So went to Diamond Tailor in Shadwell, who are very reasonably priced, and they've always done me right. So anytime that you've seen me in a suit from Opposutes and thought, oh, that fits them really well, it's because of them. Anytime you saw me in a suit from Opposutes and thought, oh, that is baggy as all hell, that was Zippy Stitch in Maidstone. They were not good. But Diamond Tailor, fantastic, very cheap. Get the job done, and they're always willing to do it in under a week for me. So that's very nice of them. Also got myself new shirts. So obviously my shirts are all now a bit baggy as well. And I always had this problem with shirts where, because I've got big neck, big shoulders, and comparatively smaller frame because I'm built weird, and tiny arms because I'm a short ass, I always ended up not being able to find shirts. And the advice had always previously been shop at Charles Tyrwhitt. They're the only people that are going to get anywhere near it. The advice is possibly still that, but I tried Hawes and Curtis, I tried T.M. Lewin, and I tried Charles Tyrwhitt. All of them first off told me that my neck was not 17 or 17 and a half, but instead 16 or 16 and a half. Either way, still couldn't find anything that wasn't baggy. So the guy at Charles Tyrwhitt recommended to me try Moss Bros, because Moss Bros is the kind of place where people go when they're fresh out of school, they're going to their first job interviews, and they're skinny and useless and don't know how to wear a suit, and therefore maybe they're going to have the kind of shirts that actually fit me. Now, he was wrong, but also right. So it turns out that what it is, near as I can tell, Moss Bros does some impressive vanity sizing, which is to say that they tell, you know, they measured me, they said 16 and a half neck. I ended up leaving with 15 and a half for a dress shirt and 15 for a non-dress shirt. The difference being obviously that a dress shirt I'm going to wear a tie with, so I actually need to do up the collar, and 15 on the dress shirt, or on the non-dress shirts where I can have it open, and that's fine. And they fit. You know, they are where they need to be on the body. Not like ridiculously tight. Obviously, all the people that work in the suit shops have just stupid tight shirts. You know, they're effectively muscle shirts, as you know, standard if you're ever in the city. That's how everyone wears their shirts. I'm not willing to go that tight. I get that I no longer have much of a gut on a good day, but just, you look a bit of a dick when you've got a shirt that tight on. So what are you thinking? Now, this is also the other problem. I've got this wedding on Saturday. I am here about to eat, or at least about to attempt to eat 2,500 calories. Keep in mind, up to this point, my diet has been, not only has it just been Huel, it's been maximum 1,500 calories of fuel. Some days it's been 1,000. So actually yesterday and the day before were both 1,000. Yesterday because I knew today was going to happen. The day before because I accidentally got home late and it was too late to have anything. But yeah, so there's been days like that where I skipped a meal. So it's been 1,000 instead. There were a couple of days when I was in Colombia where my biscuits had gone mouldy, so I only had 500 calories. So that's where the pounds, and by pounds I mean kilos, have been dropping off. I mean obviously also pounds, but I measure myself in kilos. I'm currently 78ish. But yeah, if I had this 2,500 here, later on I'm going for a roast dinner with friends for lunch. I don't know when I'm going to sleep, but it's all right. I'm going to be driving lots of places in the meantime, so you know, I'm sure I'll find a nice tree to sleep in. And this is looking quite lovely now. Let's hope this is actually in frame. Ooh. There we go. Yes, it is a good point. Thank you, Debbie. Right. Yeah. So, and I've got various other food-related things that I want to do. So obviously, at 2 in the morning, I'm going to watch Game of Thrones like a sensible person. And ideally, I'm going to watch it with a big bag of corn chip type things, because that's a nice thing to do. Wednesday, midnight, I'm going to be watching Avengers. At 9, I'm going to be watching the other Avengers. It's going to be double bill. I'm going to be at the cinema. I plan to have lots of popcorn and hot dogs and things like that. At some point, I want to do the whole pancake cheesy sandwich bacony thing going on. I want to do a proper Huel shake. I don't want to stop eating Huel. This is another one of the takeaways. Not only do I want to keep drinking water, I do want to keep having Huel, because as much as I've disliked this Lent, it's obviously not the Huel's fault as such. The Huel itself, there's nothing wrong with it. I've been having the unflavoured, unsweetened Huel because it's meant to be flavourless. That's what we were going for. And it has just been that. It's been flavourless. It's not been bad. It's not been good. It's just been nothing. But importantly, previously when I've lost a lot of weight, so normally after a Lent, so when I did vegan Lent, for instance, I lost a lot of weight. I got down to 73 kilos. As I say, at the moment I'm at 68 kilos. But when I got down to 73 kilos, people said to me, "Are you all right? You look ill." Whereas with this one, everyone just says, "Oh, you're looking really trim." They're not saying that I look ill. They're not saying I look emaciated. They're just saying there's a lot less of me. And I think that's because the Huel works. Fundamentally, I mean, obviously that's what it says on the pack, is that it is balanced nutritionally and everything, but, you know, at least my experience is it does work. Obviously, I did it wrong. You are not supposed to go fully onto Huel in one day. You're supposed to wean yourself onto it. I didn't. I smashed straight into it, and it was fine. Obviously, that first day was terrible. That first day, you know, immediate runs and everything, but that's because I had all of it in one sitting. That was a bad idea. From the next day onwards, it got a bit weird while I realised that I needed to drink a lot of water. You do need to drink a lot of water with Huel. If Huel is going to be 100% of your diet, then you need to hydrate, and you need to hydrate hard. And once you do that, it's fine. You will feel fine. I do get hungry every so often, but then I'm not eating enough, so I'm not going to blame the Huel for that. I'm going to blame the only 1,500 calories for that. And one of the things, so on the Huel forums, go on there, and it's just full of people having dietary problems, having digestive problems, having problems with their bowel movements, specifically, apparently having them very runny or not coming out. However, I think they're not getting enough water. I think that, or they're doing something wrong. I mean, maybe it's just different people's constitutions are going to handle it better. I have been pooping perfectly. I realise that's not what anyone wants to hear, but equally, I've got however long it takes for sun to rise to fill before I can start eating. Also, I'm very cold. It's annoying. Obviously, it was a beautiful sunny day yesterday. I had to go out and get myself some sun cream. Obviously, I have far less hair than I did in my previous video, and that means that the sun is suddenly dangerous for me. But it has been a lovely clear night, and as my dad will tell you, lovely clear nights mean very cold mornings and nights. So I think it's something like 8 degrees. That's why instead of seeing me in a tight-fitting t-shirt, I am in a jacket and in my Christmas jumper, because that's the jumper that was, show you that Christmas jumper. I mean, I say it's a Christmas jumper. Technically, I mean, it does have conifers and snowflakes and reindeers on it, but importantly, it has Blanca and M. Bison. It's a Street Fighter jumper, and therefore it's fine. But yeah, this is the jumper that I had in my car. So that is the one that I'm wearing for this. Yeah, I had considered doing this from up the weird climbing frame castle thingy, but there's nowhere to sit there, whereas this is a lovely bench. I'm not doing it on that bench over there because it has flowers on it, so I'm guessing somebody died in it. I mean, it might just be the memorial bench. Obviously, this particular one is in memory of John Anthony Charles Bennett, remembering many happy times spent here with you. So there we go. Presumably old people shagged on this. There you go. I also hear a lot of seagulls. I don't see a lot of seagulls. Obviously, I'm seeing birds occasionally, individual birds going around, but I can definitely hear the seagulls, and that's a worry because I'm about to start eating something. And you know how seagulls are. They'll literally have the food out your hand. In fact, that's only ever happened to me in Land's End. So maybe Essex seagulls are just a bit friendlier than that. But there's one, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because it's getting pretty close. Yeah. It's definitely getting brighter. We've got full-on blue sky happening over here. I can definitely entirely see the moon. It is, I'm going to say it is waning gibbous. Somebody want to check that for me? If I am right about that. It's very nearly full. But yeah, I don't have a lot of company here. I recce'd the area last night, and over there were some people having barbecue. It smelt delicious. I didn't get to have any because, you know, it was last night and not after sunrise today. This was the worry as well with Primrose Hill, is that seems like the kind of place that a lot of people would turn up to watch the sunrise. Whereas here, if they're going to watch the sunrise from here, I think they're going to get themselves right up against that pier thingy what's it, and get themselves some really, really well composed angles, as opposed to just here where I know I've got an alright internet connection. I didn't bother going that far last night because obviously, as you may know, I had to get to the office and upload the last Lent video. because it wouldn't do to not have that up before this live stream happened. And obviously I had to make the natty thumbnail because it's such a great thumbnail that I made. Right, I'm gonna check how the live stream's doing, make sure it's not dying. It's doing fine. Yes, no, I get that you... So for people watching this later, Debbie is saying that her daily allowance to not put on weight is 1,500 calories. Debbie is a slight woman. She is not large. She is smaller than me. So obviously this is all going to depend very much on any given person's metabolism. You know, people that do lots of exercise, obviously they need lots and lots of calories, and people that are larger generally will need lots of calories as well. But the fundamental principle is always going to be quite sound. Put in less calories and you're going to put on less weight. And as ever, when I say calories, because I'm using Huel, I can use calories as just a benchmark of nutrients generally. Huel is very low on carbohydrates. That's another thing about that's a problem with what I'm about to do this morning. Is I'm going to go from having something like 3% carbohydrates or something stupid like that. No, I don't think it's got to be more than that. Either way, you know, a very low amount of carbohydrates. Like we're not going keto here or anything, but we're not getting a lot of carbohydrates. To just straight sugar. And as I say, you know, 2,500 empty calories, as opposed to the nutritious calories that I'm trying to explain, is why it's all right for me to talk about calories as opposed to overall nutrition, because it's a good benchmark when you're using Huel for whether you're getting enough of everything, because Huel is complete, supposedly. If you are getting 100% of your calories, you are getting 100% or more of all the various vitamins and minerals that you need to be getting. Whereas with the Waitrose dark chocolate marble Easter egg, the luxurious individually hand marbled dark chocolate Easter egg that I have gotten, it is 500 grams of supposedly dark chocolate. Now, it is lovely and marbled on the front here. Hopefully you can see the lovely marbling. I believe it is a mixture of dark milk and white chocolate, so hopefully I should get some interesting flavours and textures happening. But on the back, that is just dark chocolate. So there we go. It is vegetarian. Yeah, we've got dark chocolate, milk chocolate. So dark chocolate is 44%, milk chocolate 30%, and white chocolate 24%. And our nutrition information here, we have, oh actually, okay, so per 100 grams, we've got 39 grams of fat and 48.8 grams of carbohydrates, of which sugar's 41. 3 grams of fiber, 6 grams of protein. Honestly, this could have been worse. So, either way, should I end up diabetic? Well, actually, at this point, oh, hello. We are getting very bright now. Yeah, no, at this point, if you see me collapse into a diabetic coma, do please call an ambulance. Tell them to go to East Beach in Shoebury Ness. Not Southend East Beach. Shoebury Ness East Beach. The sat-nav will take you to Southend before it takes you here. But then, as I say, you're definitely on the river, not on the estuary, not on the sea. So yeah. Now people ask why I do these things. One, because it's something to do. You got to do things. You got to keep yourself busy. Oh, that's getting close. And the other is practice. Supposedly I would like to have some sort of career in voiceover and things like that. And recently, a friend of mine got me to do an interview. Now, I never liked the idea of being on camera as such, I always liked the idea of having a face for radio and, just keeping it to that. Now, obviously, I do these YouTube videos because I don't listen to podcasts myself. It's just never been a thing. I use YouTube for my podcast, so that's the medium I work in, so that's the medium I'm doing, and that means that, I've got to be on camera for that, so that's what I do. But as I say, so a friend had me do an interview, and it went fine. I'd done some preparation on it. I interviewed a singer-songwriter called Andrea D. Her latest single, People, is now on Spotify and all good streaming services and so on and so forth. I'm getting surrounded by what appears to be mozzies, which would be very annoying. I do not want to get bitten by that. I was looking for my sun cream earlier, and all I could find was my jungle spray. And it now occurs to me I should have brought some jungle spray, apparently. I did not think that would be a problem. But here I am, surrounded by things that look like they might suck blood. But anyway, and I did this interview, and it went fine. She was very talkative. It all went well. But we would have liked to have gotten another sort of 10-15 minutes out of it, just to get the times to square up, kind of thing, and so I think, once again, as I say, I do these things for practice, and one of the things that I need to practice is patter, is being able to vamp and talk for a while about vaguely on-topic things. So this is good practice for me. Hopefully I'm not saying too much. Hopefully I'm not saying and too much. Hopefully I'm not saying so too much. Those are the things that I always have to try and cut out whenever I'm making videos. Whenever you see all those jump cuts in my videos, mostly it's me cutting out an and, or a so, that kind of thing. There we go, see, that's the one. This is why Barack Obama always has those just long, pregnant pauses that just sort of just hovering on the but never quite doing it. But you're always going to end up with something that you fall back on, something that you say mindlessly. There's a word for it in English. In Spanish it's a coletilla. I can't think what it is in English. But you do it when you're writing as well. The amount of times that I'll go back over an article I've written or something like that, or actually no, a script that I've written for one of our videos, and realise that I've just used the exact same entrance to every paragraph. I once had a school teacher, so this was a primary school teacher. Now obviously I went to a public school. Should you not understand what public school means in England, public school is the posh type of school. There we go, there's the other room. And therefore in primary school we were separated out into individual subjects. So my English teacher in primary school, this would have been, I think it was third year. So year 5, I think, is what they call it these days. So yeah, that teacher said to us that it was grammatically incorrect to say and then, which was something that I believed for years. And I later realised that actually that was a complete fabrication, and it was almost certainly just because he was sick and tired of pupils just writing and then, as school children are wont to do. It's something that you will have heard if you've ever had a conversation with an excited child or me, that you just have these long run-on sentences, just ramble on and on and on and on, not really going anywhere, not having any sort of plot, when they're trying to relate a story to you. Yeah, right, how are we doing for time? 5:43, oh actually. If Google's right, we've got 7 minutes, which I bloody well hope so, because that is a fully blue sky happening. Ah. Yes. I'm not sure that Mr. Brazier ever actually did give us any alternatives. Now, what? I have no idea what my battery's doing at the moment. Let's see if I can get... There we go. Oh, 72%, I'm fine. Okay. Go to sleep, Devi. You don't need to be awake for this. You can watch it later. It gets recorded. That's why I do it on YouTube, because it's good at these things. Oh. Now, what I don't know is obviously it should be sunrise very soon, but I don't know, because I'm seeing lovely blue sky here, but it's quite dark here. I don't know if that's just because, you know, smog and mist and stuff, or if the sun's going to come up and it's going to cut through that, or if I'm just going to have to wait for it to peak out. Although actually, I think, see, I don't know, because obviously we got chemtrails over there and chemtrails over there. I'm aware they're contrails. I like calling them chemtrails. You know, keep the Illuminati happy. But I don't know if what I'm seeing over there is actually just the tail end of a contrail, or is it in fact the beginnings of a lovely Apocalypse Now shimmer? Oh. But there's two planes over there, and oh yeah, that was another ship. Yeah, so there's 2 ships over there, and obviously lots of scattered boats. I'm glad I came here. This is a nice view. At least it is for me. For some reason, on the image, no, nobody has to see it live. That's not important. I feel like the image here isn't capturing the full majesty of it. But oh, it's done that again. As ever, must stop doing that. Okay, there we go. Right. I mean, actually, I know what I need to start doing. I need to start opening the Easter egg in preparation. So, oh, who put tape on it? Presumably whoever hand marbled it. Oh, wraps around. Okay. Let's get out my trusty wallet knife. Is the wallet knife any better than just using keys like a normal person? Probably not. There we go. Oh, I'm very cold. This is hopefully all the sugar will somehow warm me up. Oh, that's what I should have done. Should have brought a hot chocolate instead of a bottle of water. But I feel like I want to at least have some of my Lent breaking be among friends. Not that you're not a friend, Debbie. Obviously you are, and I'm very grateful that you are here live, if you are still on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I never really have Easter eggs. They're not a normal thing for me. So, but this seemed appropriate, so I went for it. This came highly recommended, but I think Cosmo was the listicle that I originally saw this on. Yeah, so it's definitely only the front that's marbled like that, which seems lazy. But I suppose if they are hand marbling it, then it's sensible enough. Okay. I will take that with me. I'm not going to leave it on the beach like some sort of terrible person. Okay. Now let's see if I can... We obviously have a seam here. Oh, that's gone. Oh, yeah, that is definitely dark chocolate. Okay. So the marbling does continue on the inside. Like, the back doesn't look right, but even though this is the dark chocolate back, the inside still has a bit of that going on. So it's all right. Oh, I think I may have stabbed myself a bit. But you can see we got some good layers on this. This is some decently thick chocolate. And actually, oh yeah, because it's done by hand, there's some proper texture going on the inside as well. Oh, that is good. Oh, I mean, this is a fully blue sky at this point. But no, we still got a few more minutes. Okay, I'm going to say if we hit 6 in the morning and there's still no sun to be seen, then I'm just going to start eating. You know, previously I used to do this at midnight. I didn't used to do a live stream at midnight. I used to just break Lent at midnight and go crazy. But I felt like for this one, I wanted to start making sunrise a tradition. Maybe in future years, I'll try lots of different locations. So this time next year, I'll no longer be living in Basildon, hopefully. And with a bit of luck, I'll be living in London. I have, for people that are not aware, I've recently been given an actual salaried job. And importantly, it's effectively the same job I had before, which means that it does not take my entire week, but it does just about pay enough for me to live in London. So if I can use the rest of that week to also be making money doing other things, then actually I'm gonna be all right. And I'm gonna be able to do what I want, and I'm not gonna have to get a regular 9-to-5 job, and I can keep dicking about, which is ideally what I want to do. That is the sun. Oh, yes. Okay, let's make sure that's in shot. Oh, can you see that? Yeah, no, that is okay. So it's a tiny little speck. There you go. You can see that. Brilliant. And I'm going to say, do I need to wait for the whole thing to come up? Oh. No, screw it. I can start now. Well, there we go. Okay. Google may have been extremely wrong about what time dawn was, but it was pretty bloody spot on with what time the sun was going to rise. Now obviously on the live stream it's a pathetic little dot. In real life it's quite gorgeous. I would like it larger, but it's really, and obviously because we are looking out over it, and especially not just because it's the sea, but because it's this kind of really shallow because it's a really shallow tide, it's a really shallow beach, then we're getting a lovely reflection of it as well. Oh, that is a hot pink sun. That is great. Okay. Right, first food of Lent. Okay, that'll do. I'm going to go from having eaten nothing to presumably something very sweet and bitter as well, because it's going to be dark chocolate. This was another one of the reasons why I came here instead, was because I figure I'm going to get some natural saltiness in the air, and that's going to give me my salty flavour as well. So I get bitter, I get sweet, I get salty. I would say that's at least half the sun up, which means, as far as I'm concerned, the sun has risen. So, yeah, that's nice. It's flavour. Yeah. It's tough is what it is. Yeah. That's a good one to go. I think I'm mostly getting milk and white chocolate at the moment. Now we're getting the seagulls. Oh yeah, that is a well-risen sun. This reminds me of Colombian chocolate. So in Colombia, they have these chocolates called Jet. In fact, I have one of them in my haul that I brought back, ready to eat once I could eat. And it has this kind of texture to it. Very snappy. Okay. Let's try part of the back end. There we go. Okay, so this bit should be mostly dark. Oh. It's got that good wavy mirage texture to the sun. No, pigeon. This is the seaside. You need to be in the city somewhere, pooping on a statue. Bloody rock doves. I'll tell you what, this is not particularly dark chocolate. I can get behind this. Or, actually wait, hang on a second. Maybe that's what's happening. Okay, don't tell me how dark the chocolate is. So, okay, 64%, still pretty dark. I think I've worked out what's happened. Because normally, I'm not a fan of dark chocolate. It's not sweet enough, it's too bitter, can't handle it. Whereas, as far as I'm concerned, this is tasting really sweet and milky. And granted, I've got a mixture of chocolates going on, but also I think I've forgotten what sweet tastes like. And as far as I'm concerned, this is now really sweet, when actually it's not that sweet at all. So potentially, I've chosen really well doing it this way round. And had I gone with the alternative option of making a giant cream egg, I'd be dead right now. No, no. Oh, hey, more planes. There's like 5 of them now. So obviously, just up the road, we've got Southend Airport. But equally, everything's going to end up coming this way anyway, because it's the east. They'll be going to Norway or Sweden or some such. Actually, they might just be going to Germany. Oh hey, there's a guy in a high-vis, picking up rubbish. Very good. Presumably cold because he's being very spry about it. I was feeling like this was going to be pretty easy to get through, but it is starting to become a challenge. But now that the rubbish picking up guy's here, I'm glad I didn't do it from the climbing frame. So yeah, I'm in no position to review the Waitrose Easter egg because I have no idea what things are supposed to taste like at this point. Oh, blooming heck. You know, I have a lot of bad things to say about Shoebury-Ness. Mostly they're entirely unfounded because this is my first time here. Well, second if you count last night. And really, the reason I dislike it is because it's the destination of the train I get on to get home from London. and it's just the worst train, mostly because I'm going home at 1 in the morning, and any train at 1 in the morning is going to be the worst train. Turns out there are many worse trains. It's actually quite pleasant. Now I'm guessing if I were to turn round and look at the actual town, it would be much less pleasant, but the beach side of it, pretty great. We've got lovely rocks, we've got a beach, we've got beached boats, we've got whatever the weird pier thing is, we've got groins. Everyone loves groins. Okay. Let's say I've got through half of this. Which means I've already had what would have been a day's worth of calories. So, I'm going to say this is a successful breaking of Lent. I'm going to finish eating this throughout the day. And I'm going to have that roast lunch. So, thank you for joining me. And I'll see you around.